Success isn't about doing more. It's about building something that keeps working even when you rest. Every great life, every great legacy is built on a system, not a flurry of random efforts, not bursts of energy that fade when motivation runs dry, but a deliberate, repeatable, and resilient structure, a system that carries you forward when willpower weakens and discipline is tested. Today's audiobook, Build the System, See Your Future Grow Effortlessly, is not about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about understanding that real progress begins when you stop chasing results and start engineering consistency. 1. The invisible foundation. Think of a tree. Before it rises into the sunlight, before its branches stretch wide, and its leaves whisper in the wind, there's something happening underground. Quietly, persistently, its roots dig deep, building a foundation. That's your system. It's invisible to others, sometimes even invisible to you. It's built in silence, through routines, habits, principles, and small, often unglamorous decisions that compound over time. When you see someone succeeding effortlessly, what you're witnessing isn't luck or talent. It's a well-designed system at work. Systems make the extraordinary look easy, but here's the truth most people miss. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Before the applause, before the spotlight, before the world even knows your name, there is a season of silence, a time when you are building what no one else can see. That's where greatness is born. Every success story begins long before the first visible win. The strongest buildings stand not because of what's above ground, but because of what's buried beneath it. Your system, the structure you create behind the scenes, is the root system of your future. It's what allows you to rise high, stay strong, and keep growing long after others have stopped. Picture a seed planted in dark soil. For weeks, maybe months, there is no sign of life. The world passes by, unimpressed. But beneath the surface, something extraordinary is happening. Roots are spreading, direction is being formed, and strength is quietly building. That is what your system does for you. It prepares you for the sunlight. You may not see results immediately, but you are creating the framework that will support everything that comes next. Most people rush to chase visible success. They want recognition, quick rewards, and instant validation. But real achievers think differently. They understand that systems come before success. They know that structure creates sustainability. Instead of waiting for the world to notice them, they focus on building processes that work even when no one is watching. They build routines that don't rely on emotion, they design habits that run automatically, and they set standards that never drop just because motivation fades. It's not glamorous work. Building in silence rarely is. You'll wake up early and no one will clap. You'll make sacrifices that no one acknowledges. You'll practice discipline when no one else understands why. But one day, when the system you've built begins to bear fruit, the same people who overlooked your roots will marvel at your branches. They'll see the results, but they won't see the design that made those results inevitable. The truth is, the people who grow effortlessly later are the ones who built quietly earlier. Their system takes over when energy runs low. Their habits carry them when enthusiasm fades. They've already done the hard part. They've created a structure that holds. That's why success looks effortless to them. It's not that they have more talent, more luck, or more opportunity. It's that they built something that works whether they're inspired or not. If you want to see your future grow effortlessly, you have to start by building in stillness. Let your preparation be louder than your proclamation. Build a system that serves your vision every day, whether you feel ready or not. Do the small things right. Organize your environment, refine your habits, track your progress, protect your focus. These aren't just actions, they're anchors. They keep you steady when life gets unpredictable. In the end, the world will only see the results of your system. But you will know the truth. You didn't just stumble into success. You built the foundation for it, brick by brick, decision by decision, day by day. That's how effortless growth begins, in silence, with roots strong enough to hold the weight of your dreams. 2. The myth of motivation. Motivation is powerful, but it's temporary. It comes and goes like the tide. You can't depend on it to carry you through the storms of life. What does work, what never fails, is a system that keeps you moving even when you don't feel like it. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up and debate whether you feel inspired to do it. You just do it because you've built a system around it. A habit that runs almost automatically. Now imagine if you built systems like that for your finances, your health, your learning, or your goals. Imagine if your success ran on autopilot, powered by routines that are so natural they no longer feel like effort. That's what this audiobook is about. Building a structure so powerful, you no longer have to fight for your future. It grows organically, almost effortlessly. In a world obsessed with instant breakthroughs and dramatic transformations, it's easy to believe that success comes from big, powerful bursts of effort. But the truth is far more subtle and far more liberating. Real growth doesn't happen in explosions of intensity. It happens through quiet, deliberate consistency. The people who achieve the most extraordinary results are not those who push the hardest for a few days. They're the ones who keep moving forward a little bit every day, long after others have burned out. Intensity is exciting. It feels powerful, urgent, and inspiring. It gives you a rush. The sense that you're finally taking control of your life. But like a flame that burns too fast, it fades just as quickly. When the adrenaline wears off, when motivation dips, most people stop. They fall into the familiar pattern of doing everything at once, and then doing nothing at all. That's why so many goals remain unfinished, and so many dreams stay suspended in someday. Consistency, on the other hand, might not look exciting, but it builds momentum that never stops. It's the steady heartbeat behind every lasting success story. Think of it this way: a single workout doesn't make you strong. A single day of focus doesn't build a business. A single moment of clarity doesn't change your life. It's the system you create, the daily pattern of action that shapes your reality. Consistency compounds. What you do repeatedly becomes who you are. When you commit to small, repeatable steps, instead of dramatic bursts of effort, you start to build something deeper: reliability. And reliability is what creates results you can trust. Discipline becomes lighter when it's consistent. Effort becomes easier when it's rhythmic. You no longer have to negotiate with yourself every morning about whether you feel like showing up, because showing up has become part of who you are. That's the true beauty of consistency. It removes the need for constant decision making. It frees you from the emotional tug of war between should I and maybe later. You act because your system tells you to, not because your emotions allow you to. Every great achiever understands this rhythm. The athlete who trains every day, even on the days when no one is watching. The writer who fills a single page each morning, rain or shine. The entrepreneur who refines one small process daily, knowing that improvement multiplied by time equals mastery. Their secret isn't raw effort. It's the pattern behind the effort. It's the system that transforms willpower into habit and habit into identity. And yes, consistency is slower. It doesn't give you the immediate satisfaction of intensity. But it gives you something far better: endurance. Because life will test you. There will be distractions, setbacks, and seasons when progress feels invisible. The intense quit when the excitement dies down. The consistent persist until results become undeniable. Over time, the difference between the two becomes monumental. When you learn to prioritize rhythm over rush, you begin to move differently. You stop sprinting toward success and start walking with purpose, and that steady, deliberate pace becomes unstoppable. You don't need to do everything today. You only need to do something today. Then do it again tomorrow. That's how consistency quietly outperforms intensity every single time. 3. From chaos to clarity, life is full of noise, demands, distractions, endless to-do lists. Without a system, you're constantly reacting instead of creating. You're always busy, but rarely moving forward. A system clears the fog. It tells you what matters most, when to act, and how to measure progress. It simplifies your days so your energy isn't wasted on decision fatigue. Here's a secret: simplicity is power. The more you reduce friction, the more momentum you gain. That's why high performers design their environments for success. They remove temptation, automate decisions, and align everything around their core priorities. You can do the same. Whether you're building a business, chasing a dream, or trying to live with more peace, create a framework that supports the life you want, not the one you're trying to escape. Motivation feels powerful when it strikes. It's that sudden surge of energy, the voice that says, "This is it. Today I'll change everything." In that moment, anything seems possible. But as quickly as it arrives, motivation fades. It's like a gust of wind. You can feel its force, but you can't control when it comes or where it goes. Depending on motivation alone is like trying to sail a ship without a rudder. You might move fast for a moment, but soon you're at the mercy of the waves again, drifting aimlessly. That's why success can't be built on feelings. It must be built on systems that generate momentum. The force that keeps you moving even when motivation disappears. Momentum is what separates dreamers from doers. It's not emotional, it's mechanical. It's the result of small, repeated actions stacking up over time. Think about pushing a heavy wheel. At first, it barely moves. Every push feels like a struggle, and you question if it's worth it. But once it starts rolling, something changes. The effort required decreases while the speed increases. That's momentum, and once it's in motion, it's hard to stop. That's what a well-built system gives you: an automatic push forward, even on the days you feel uninspired. When you depend on motivation, your progress comes in waves, fast at first, then fading. But when you build momentum, your growth becomes a steady climb. You no longer need to force energy into every action. Your system starts carrying you. It's the reason successful people appear so disciplined. They're not constantly fired up. They've simply built a process that removes the need to be. Their actions are automated through routine, not emotion. Imagine if every meaningful area of your life, your health, your finances, your learning, your relationships, ran on momentum instead of mood. You'd no longer wait for the right time. You'd no longer depend on bursts of enthusiasm. You'd simply do what your system dictates. Over time, that kind of consistency becomes unstoppable. Motivation gives you a start. Momentum gives you sustainability. This shift from motivation to momentum begins with one simple decision act, even when you don't feel like it. The first step creates friction, but the second step feels easier, and the third easier still. Before long, your movement generates energy. That's when something remarkable happens. You stop chasing motivation, because movement itself becomes your source of drive. You begin to crave progress, not perfection. You start to trust the process instead of waiting for inspiration. The beauty of momentum is that it doesn't ask for intensity. It asks for continuity. It doesn't require grand gestures, just the willingness to keep going. Every time you follow through, even on a small task, you reinforce your identity as someone who keeps promises to themselves. And that identity becomes a powerful engine. Motivation may start the journey, but momentum keeps the journey alive. Once you harness that force, you no longer have to wonder whether you'll reach your goal. You just have to keep rolling forward. 4. The power of tiny wins. You don't need massive leaps. You need tiny wins stacked daily. A system isn't about perfection. It's about progression. When you improve just 1% every day, your life transforms quietly in the background. You might not notice it at first, but months later, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Every system starts small: a morning routine, a 5-minute journal, a savings plan, a daily reading habit. These small actions compound. Over time, they build a rhythm, a self-sustaining cycle of growth. And that's the magic of systems. Once momentum takes over, effort feels lighter. You're no longer pushing the boulder uphill. The hill starts working for you. Success is rarely a matter of doing more. It's a matter of doing less, but doing it better. When you strip away the unnecessary, what remains is focus. And focus, more than anything else, is the secret to momentum, clarity, and growth. Complexity might look impressive from the outside, but simplicity is what delivers results. The most effective systems aren't the ones packed with endless steps, color-coded plans, and complicated rules. They are lean, clear, and direct. They guide you toward action without confusion or hesitation. Think about it: every extra decision, every added layer of choice, drains mental energy. The human mind isn't built to juggle endless options. It's built to follow direction. That's why the most successful people simplify their lives relentlessly. They don't waste energy debating what to do next. Their priorities are already defined. Their routines are already structured. When others are scattered, they are steady. When others overthink, they execute. Simplifying doesn't mean doing less. It means removing what doesn't matter, so that what does matter can shine. It's not about shrinking your vision, it's about removing the noise that blurs it. A system that works is one that fits easily into your daily rhythm. It doesn't drain you. It supports you. The simpler your routine, the stronger your execution. The clearer your focus, the faster your progress. This principle applies to everything: your goals, your habits, your environment. If your morning routine takes 10 decisions to complete, you won't stick with it. If your financial plan requires constant adjustments, it will collapse under its own weight. But when you simplify, when you design a system that's clear, repeatable, and effortless, you remove resistance. And every ounce of resistance removed is a step closer to consistency. Simplicity also builds confidence. When your system is easy to follow, success feels within reach. You begin to trust yourself because you no longer rely on willpower. You rely on structure. Every day, you complete what you plan to do. That steady sense of accomplishment builds self-respect, and self-respect fuels discipline. Soon, the line between effort and ease begins to blur. What once felt like hard work becomes your natural rhythm. Many people hide behind complexity because it feels safe. It gives the illusion of progress. Planning, researching, reorganizing, but real movement only begins when you simplify. Every great achiever understands this. The best athletes master a few techniques and repeat them endlessly. The greatest leaders focus on a handful of principles and live by them daily. They know that mastery isn't about knowing everything. It's about refining what matters most until it becomes second nature. When your system is simple, it's strong. It can adapt, evolve, and expand without breaking. Complexity collapses under pressure, but simplicity endures when distractions come, and they always do. A clear system brings you back to center. It reminds you why you started, what matters most, and how to keep going. Simplicity amplifies everything. It turns scattered effort into focused power, and focused power is what builds a life that grows with purpose and peace. 5. Designing your system. So how do you build one? Start with 3 simple questions. What matters most to me? Identify your North Star, the outcome that gives your life direction. What daily actions move me closer to it? These are your building blocks. Keep them clear and achievable. How can I make these actions easier to repeat? That's the art of system design, removing resistance and making the right choices automatic. Maybe it's setting up reminders, preparing your environment, or scheduling blocks of time. Maybe it's tracking your habits, celebrating small victories, or pairing hard tasks with something you enjoy. Whatever you do, make it sustainable. Because sustainability is the heartbeat of every powerful system. Every day begins as a blank page, waiting to be written. Some people let life fill that page for them, reacting to messages, demands, and distractions the moment they wake up. Others, however, take the pen into their own hands. They design their day before the day designs them. The difference between drifting and directing your life lies in this single decision to live by design rather than default. When you design your days, you create structure. When you drift through them, you surrender control. A designed day begins with intention. It's not about scheduling every minute or forcing productivity. It's about aligning your actions with your values. It's about deciding what truly matters before the noise of the world decides for you. Too many people wake up and instantly step into a reactive state. Emails, notifications, and the urgency of others dictate their focus. Before they know it, the day is gone, and they've been busy but not effective. But when you start your morning with clarity, when you ask, "What must I do today that truly moves me forward?" you shift from chaos to command. Every powerful system is built on planned repetition. It's the same with your days. If you want your life to move in a certain direction, your daily actions must point there consistently. Each routine, each task, each commitment becomes a brick in the structure of your vision. Planning doesn't restrict freedom, it amplifies it. Because when you decide in advance how to use your energy, you spend less time hesitating and more time creating. You stop chasing time and start leading it. Designing your day also means protecting it. Not everything deserves your attention, and not every opportunity aligns with your purpose. A well-designed day has boundaries. It includes time for deep work, rest, reflection, and renewal. It acknowledges that your best energy is limited, so you use it wisely. Without a plan, you scatter it everywhere and end up empty. With a plan, you direct it toward what truly matters, and that's how you build momentum that lasts. There's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing your direction before the world demands your attention. It's the difference between being pulled by circumstances and being guided by choice. When you wake up with purpose, your energy feels lighter, your focus sharper, your mood calmer. You're no longer just existing, you're building. Each action connects to a larger vision, and even the smallest task carries meaning. Over time, those designed days compound. They create rhythm, balance, and measurable progress. The results might not show up overnight, but they arrive inevitably, because you've built a consistent framework for success. Each morning, you reaffirm your priorities. Each evening, you reflect on what worked. Gradually, this rhythm becomes your way of life. You no longer depend on luck or circumstance. Your direction becomes self-created, and that's the quiet power of designing your day. You begin shaping your life exactly as you want it to unfold, one intentional decision at a time. 6. When the system fails, there will be days when you slip. When things fall apart. When you feel like your system is broken. That's not failure, that's feedback. A strong system doesn't demand perfection. It adapts. It learns. It evolves with you. If you miss a day, restart. If something stops working, adjust. The goal isn't rigidity, it's resilience. Every setback is an invitation to refine your design, and every time you rebuild, your foundation gets stronger. Big dreams often capture our imagination, but it's the small, consistent steps that bring those dreams to life. The most powerful systems are built on tiny wins, those subtle, almost invisible actions that compound quietly over time until they create something extraordinary. We tend to glorify the breakthrough moment, the instant of victory, the grand success story. But every achievement you've ever admired was built on thousands of unnoticed repetitions. It's never about one giant leap forward. It's about steady progress that never stops moving. The beauty of small wins lies in their accessibility. Anyone can take one small action today. You don't need massive resources, perfect conditions, or endless motivation. You only need the willingness to begin and to keep beginning every single day. That's the mindset of builders. The people who understand that progress is built in layers. They celebrate each small completion because they know every victory, no matter how small, strengthens their foundation. Tiny wins carry a psychological power far greater than their size. Each time you complete something, finish a workout, write a paragraph, save a small amount of money, you reinforce a belief, I follow through. That belief compounds. Confidence doesn't come from dramatic success, it comes from repetition and trust in your own consistency. Every time you do what you said you would, your brain records evidence that you are capable, dependable, and strong. That's how small wins transform into a deep internal momentum. Most people underestimate the impact of a single disciplined action. They want to see results immediately, and when they don't, they quit. But systems are built like seasons. They grow silently before they bloom. If you plant a seed today, you wouldn't dig it up tomorrow to check if it's growing. You'd water it, trust it, and give it time. The same principle applies to personal growth. You build your future not by demanding instant results, but by feeding your systems with small, consistent wins that accumulate until growth becomes visible. Tiny wins are also sustainable. Grand efforts exhaust you, small ones empower you. They fit naturally into your life without demanding dramatic change. That's why they last. 5 minutes of focus done daily beats an hour of effort done occasionally. A short daily walk will always outperform a once-a-month gym marathon. The secret is consistency, not intensity. Systems thrive when they are light enough to maintain, yet meaningful enough to matter. As the days pass, those small wins begin to connect. Each repetition strengthens the next, like links in a chain. Over time, the compounding effect becomes undeniable. What once required effort becomes instinct. What once felt like discipline becomes identity. You no longer think about staying consistent. You simply are consistent. That's the moment when success begins to feel effortless, not because it is easy, but because your system has carried you into mastery. Every great result is built from these moments. Small victories, repeated faithfully, become unstoppable progress, and that is where lasting growth begins. 7. The freedom within discipline. At first, systems can feel restrictive, like rules that limit spontaneity. But soon, you realize the truth: structure doesn't imprison you. It frees you, because when your system handles the small stuff, your mind is liberated to dream, create, and connect. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. The world opens up when your days have rhythm. Your energy flows more freely when your mind isn't cluttered by constant choices. That's not limitation. That's liberation. 8. The effortless future. One day, you'll wake up and realize your system is carrying you. Your goals are being achieved quietly, almost without friction. Opportunities find you. Growth feels natural. You've become the kind of person who doesn't chase success. You attract it. That's what happens when you build a system rooted in clarity, consistency, and conviction. You begin to see your future grow effortlessly. Not because life got easier, but because you got organized. No system, no matter how well designed, runs perfectly forever. Life is unpredictable, and even the most disciplined person will encounter setbacks, distractions, and unexpected turns. The true test of strength is not whether your system fails. It's how you respond when it does. Adaptation is what separates those who endure from those who give up. When something breaks, when a plan falls apart, or when motivation disappears, you always have a choice: abandon your progress or adjust your process. Growth doesn't demand perfection, it demands flexibility. There's a quiet power in learning to bend without breaking. The most successful people don't avoid mistakes. They learn from them faster. They don't view failure as a wall, they see it as feedback. Each obstacle becomes a data point, a lesson, a refinement. That's the mindset of a builder. Someone who understands that systems are living things, designed to evolve. If something isn't working, they don't throw it away. They study it, simplify it, and rebuild it stronger. Every adjustment adds resilience, and over time, resilience becomes their greatest advantage. Rigid systems collapse under pressure. Flexible ones endure. A rigid routine might work for a season, but the moment life changes, a new job, a personal loss, an unexpected challenge, it shatters. That's why your system must be adaptable enough to move with you, not against you. Progress isn't linear. It ebbs and flows. There will be days of momentum and days of resistance. Instead of fighting that rhythm, align with it. Adjust your pace, shift your strategy, and allow growth to breathe. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You only have to keep moving forward in a way that's sustainable. Adaptation also requires humility, the willingness to admit that what worked before may not work now. Many people cling to outdated routines simply because they fear change. But change is not the enemy of consistency. It's the engine of improvement. When you adjust, you don't lose your foundation. You strengthen it. Every recalibration is proof that you're still engaged, still evolving, still committed to becoming better. When your system falters, don't see it as the end of progress. See it as the next phase of refinement. Take a step back and ask what's working, what isn't, what can be simplified or removed. Sometimes the most powerful adjustments are small ones. Reducing distractions, shifting priorities, redesigning your environment. Other times, it means stepping away briefly to regain clarity. The goal isn't to maintain an illusion of control, but to create a rhythm that can survive disruption. Resilience grows through repetition. Every time you rebuild, you become stronger. Every time you adapt, you become wiser. And every time you recover from a setback, your system becomes more stable and self-correcting. This is how lasting progress is made, not through flawless execution, but through consistent recalibration. Life will test your structure again and again, but if you keep adapting, refining, and learning, your system will not only survive, it will evolve into something far more powerful than before. When you build a system, it's easy to become obsessed with structure, plans, steps, and measurable outcomes. But behind every strong system lies an equally strong belief in something deeper, purpose. Without a compelling why, even the most organized plan eventually loses its fire. Purpose fuels consistency. It transforms your routines from mechanical habits into meaningful acts. When you know why you're doing something, you stop chasing short-term motivation and start moving with long-term conviction. Purpose isn't an accessory to success. It's the foundation of it. Imagine two people following the same routine. One wakes up early because they're told it's what successful people do. The other wakes up early because they want to build a legacy, to create something lasting that their family can be proud of. The actions may look identical, but the energy behind them couldn't be more different. One operates on compliance, the other on conviction. Purpose turns effort into devotion. It gives weight to every decision, meaning to every sacrifice, and courage to every uncertain step forward. When you know your why, discipline stops feeling like a burden. You no longer need to force yourself into action. You flow into it. The mind naturally seeks alignment with what matters most. This is the invisible current that carries you forward, even when motivation fades. You stop depending on temporary emotion and start living from intentional direction. It's not about how hard you can push. It's about how deeply your system is connected to what you truly value. Purpose also acts as a compass in moments of doubt. Every journey encounters storms, setbacks, criticism, exhaustion. When the path gets dark, you need more than goals to keep going. You need meaning. A goal might remind you what you want, but purpose reminds you why it's worth it. It whispers that growth is never wasted, that every small victory and every painful lesson are pieces of a larger story still unfolding. Purpose steadies your mind when results are slow. It turns patience into strength and persistence into peace. The most powerful systems are designed around purpose, not pressure. They are built to serve your deeper mission, not your ego. When your daily actions reflect what truly matters, life becomes more aligned, more peaceful, and more productive. You stop measuring success by how much you do and start measuring it by how much meaning you create. Your system then becomes a reflection of your values, a living expression of your beliefs in motion. Purpose also invites passion, the kind that cannot be faked or forced. It's what gives life to your habits and energy to your work. Even mundane tasks take on a quiet beauty when you know they're part of something bigger. Every effort becomes a brick in the foundation of your future. When you connect your system to a purpose that moves your heart, growth stops being a struggle and starts feeling like destiny unfolding step by step. 9. The inner system beyond productivity, beyond business. There's another kind of system. Your inner system, your mindset, your emotional rhythm, the beliefs that shape how you see yourself and the world. If your outer systems build your habits, your inner system builds your identity. Ask yourself, what do I truly believe I'm capable of? Do my thoughts support my vision or sabotage it? Because every system you build will rise or fall based on one question. Do you see yourself as someone who follows through? When your identity aligns with your actions, everything clicks into place. That's when growth becomes effortless. Energy is one of the most precious resources you possess, far more valuable than time. You can always find more hours in a day, but you cannot create more focus, drive, or clarity once they are depleted. A well-designed system protects your energy with the same care that a skilled architect protects the foundation of a building. Without this protection, even the strongest intentions can collapse under the weight of distraction, exhaustion, and overcommitment. Every choice you make consumes energy, and every system that respects this reality multiplies the impact of your efforts. The key to preserving energy lies in designing your environment and routines to support your priorities, rather than drain you. High achievers don't leave success to chance. They reduce friction, remove unnecessary decisions, and focus their resources on the actions that truly matter. Simple adjustments, like creating a morning routine, eliminating time-wasting tasks, or automating repetitive processes, save energy for critical moments of creativity, problem-solving, and growth. Every choice you remove from your daily decision-making process is energy preserved for your most meaningful work. Distractions are the silent energy drainers that most people overlook. Social media notifications, excessive emails, and constant interruptions chip away at focus until little remains for the tasks that matter. A strong system guards against these intrusions. It creates boundaries, schedules focus blocks, and ensures that your energy is allocated strategically. The more you protect your attention, the more consistently you perform at your best. Energy becomes a multiplier, amplifying the results of every action rather than diluting them. Energy protection also requires self-awareness. You must understand when you are most alert, creative, and productive, and then structure your system around those peaks. For some, mornings are golden. For others, late evenings hold the spark. By aligning high-value tasks with periods of peak energy, you maximize output while minimizing struggle. A system that respects these natural rhythms turns effort into flow, making progress feel almost effortless. Rest and recovery are not weaknesses. They are strategic tools. Many people push relentlessly, believing that constant motion equates to success. But energy is finite. The most effective systems integrate rest, reflection, and renewal. Scheduled breaks, quality sleep, and periods of disengagement are not wasted time. They are investments in sustained performance. When energy is replenished, decisions are sharper, creativity is higher, and resilience is stronger. Protecting your energy also involves saying no, repeatedly and without apology. Not every opportunity, request, or obligation deserves a share of your focus. Your system should act as a filter, allowing only what aligns with your vision and priorities to pass through. Each yes to the unimportant is a no to the essential, and your energy diminishes with every misplaced commitment. A system that preserves energy transforms potential into progress. It ensures that your actions are powerful, your focus is sharp, and your results are amplified. By respecting the finite nature of your attention and energy, you create a structure that not only sustains effort, but multiplies it. Energy becomes your leverage, and when properly protected, it allows your system and your life to operate with precision, efficiency, and unstoppable momentum. 10. Building forever. The systems you build today become the architecture of your future. They'll determine your freedom, your peace, your prosperity, and even your legacy. So start now. Build small. Stay consistent. Remember, it's not about how fast you move. It's about how repeatable your progress is. Each day you follow your system, you're planting seeds. Someday, those seeds will grow into a forest, strong, steady, and full of life. That's the quiet beauty of systems. They outlive the moment. They create results long after the effort is done. Beyond routines, strategies, and measurable outcomes, there lies a system that is even more powerful, the inner system. This is the architecture of your mindset, your beliefs, and your self-perception. It is the quiet engine that drives your actions, shapes your decisions, and determines the trajectory of your life. Without a strong inner system, even the most meticulously planned external system will falter. Habits may fail, progress may stall, and setbacks may feel insurmountable if your inner foundation is weak or misaligned. True growth begins from within, and it radiates outward to every area of your life. Your inner system is composed of your thoughts, attitudes, and the narratives you tell yourself about what is possible. When these internal structures are healthy, they reinforce your external actions. Every step forward feels supported because your mind believes it is capable of achieving the goals you set. Conversely, if your inner system is cluttered with doubt, fear, or limiting beliefs, no amount of external organization can sustain long-term progress. The inner system is like software running your life. If it's outdated or corrupted, the most advanced tools and strategies will fail to perform. Developing a strong inner system requires deliberate attention. It begins with awareness, understanding the thoughts, patterns, and beliefs that influence your choices. Many people operate on autopilot, allowing old fears or habits to dictate their behavior without realizing it. To build an inner system that supports growth, you must identify which mental patterns serve you and which hold you back. Awareness alone is transformative because it gives you the ability to intervene, correct, and strengthen the very core of your decision-making. The inner system also thrives on consistency and reinforcement. Just as external habits shape your actions, internal habits shape your identity. Daily practices such as affirmations, reflection, journaling, or meditation strengthen your mental resilience and reinforce empowering beliefs. Over time, these practices rewire your perception of what is possible. You begin to see yourself not as someone who struggles to follow through, but as someone who consistently succeeds. Your identity shifts, and with it, your actions naturally align with your highest potential. Another critical aspect of the inner system is emotional regulation. Life will always present challenges, frustrations, and setbacks. Without a stable inner system, these external pressures can derail you. When your internal world is strong, you respond rather than react. You maintain clarity, make better decisions, and stay committed to your vision even under pressure. Emotional strength becomes a pillar of resilience, allowing your external systems to function at full capacity. Your inner system and external system are inseparable. One supports the other. When your inner beliefs are aligned with your external actions, momentum becomes effortless. Habits stick, goals progress, and growth accelerates. Without internal alignment, even the best strategies will feel forced and unsustainable. To build a life that grows effortlessly, cultivate both systems simultaneously. Design your external structure while continuously strengthening your inner foundation. This alignment transforms not only what you achieve, but who you become. Your inner system shapes the lens through which you see opportunities, interpret challenges, and respond to the world, creating a life that is both purposeful and powerful. 11. Closing reflection. As we close today's message, remember this: you were never meant to live in constant struggle. You were meant to design your life, to shape it with intention, to build foundations that sustain you, and to rise each morning knowing your future is already in motion. Don't chase control. Build consistency. Don't seek balance. Build structure. And don't hope for success. Engineer it. Your life is not a sprint of effort. It's a system of alignment. And when you build that system with clarity, patience, and purpose, your future won't just grow. It will flourish effortlessly. The life you imagine is not a random occurrence. It is the product of deliberate design. Every moment, every decision, every habit contributes to the architecture of your future. A system is not merely a tool for efficiency. It is a blueprint for living intentionally. When your actions, routines, and mindset align, you stop chasing control and begin engineering results. The difference between those who feel perpetually behind and those who progress effortlessly lies in this principle. They build a framework that allows their goals to grow on autopilot. Engineering your future begins with clarity. You must define what you want and why you want it. Without a clear vision, even the most structured system will lack direction. Your system should act like a compass, constantly pointing toward your goals and values. Every action you take should feed into this framework, reinforcing momentum and eliminating wasted effort. When you consistently align daily behaviors with long-term objectives, your progress is inevitable. The system doesn't rely on luck or fleeting motivation. It relies on deliberate design and repeatable execution. Sustainability is another cornerstone of building an effortless future. Systems must be constructed to endure, even under pressure. Life will test your consistency, challenge your patience, and tempt you to abandon your path. A system designed with foresight accounts for these realities. It integrates routines, priorities, and habits that can be maintained even when energy is low or circumstances are difficult. The strength of a system is measured not by how well it performs in ideal conditions, but by how well it withstands adversity. One of the most transformative aspects of a well-built system is how it multiplies your efforts. Each action compounds, creating results far beyond what a single act could achieve. When systems are aligned with your goals, the outcomes begin to grow quietly, even when you are not pushing consciously. Progress becomes a natural byproduct of consistency, focus, and intention. The work you do today plants seeds that bloom into results tomorrow. And the more you trust and follow your system, the more effortless growth becomes. A system also frees your mind to innovate and create. When daily operations are structured and automatic, your mental energy is liberated for higher level thinking, problem solving, and strategic planning. Instead of being consumed by the minutiae of execution, you can focus on expansion, opportunity, and vision. This is where momentum becomes exponential. Your system handles the foundation, and your creativity and initiative drive exponential growth. Building a future that grows effortlessly requires patience and discipline. The initial work may feel slow, and the results almost invisible. Yet every repetition, every small improvement, and every disciplined choice strengthens the framework of your life. Over time, you will notice a shift. What once required effort becomes routine, and what once felt impossible begins to unfold naturally. Your system transforms from a tool into a force, a reliable engine that propels you forward with consistency, resilience, and purpose. When you approach your life as a system to be built, rather than a series of reactions to events, you move from survival to mastery. You no longer wait for circumstances to align, you create alignment through design. Your future is no longer uncertain. It is constructed intentionally, with the architecture to support growth, success, and fulfillment. A well-built system does more than produce results. It creates a life that grows, evolves, and flourishes almost effortlessly, reflecting the vision, values, and identity you cultivate every day. This is Wisdom in Minutes Audiobooks. Thank you for listening to Build the System, See Your Future Grow Effortlessly. Now, go build your system and watch your future unfold beautifully before you.